Hello out there, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at Imprint's new Blu-ray release of Dalton Trumbo's Johnny Got His Gun from 1971. And this, of course, stars Timothy Bottoms, Jason Robards, and Donald Sutherland. This is famously known as the film that John Lennon apparently absolutely adored and felt like it was one of the most powerful movies he'd ever seen. It has a very strong anti-war message. It was written in the 40s and takes place, the film does, in World War I, and it's basically about a young GI who takes on some mortar fire in a pit and proceeds to somehow, some way, end up losing all 4 of his limbs and having his hearing and sight and tongue gone. So basically he's a stump with a head and a brain who can think and has sensation of, touch and feeling. He can sense vibrations in a room, but it's truly an absolute horror show in terms of why anyone would keep a person like that alive. But of course, in this country, our bizarre, culture of life attitude, I can imagine a situation where they would keep someone like that alive, despite all questions of ethics that are clearly going to be at play. I mean, why you would want to, allow someone to live that kind of existence is just beyond me. But the film makes the case that, firstly, war is horror and is just a complete and utter consequence of failure by humans to have civilized discourse, and the consequences of that, which are usually felt upon the young men who are tasked with going out there and fighting. And of course, with what's going on in the world today, it's just as prescient now as it was then. But the movie is just a terrific meditation on this whole subject, and is something that I think has never been done with less Hollywood flair than this film. I mean, it's clear when you watch this movie, it is so odd. There are moments in it that are just so strange, but I think it reflects the fact that Dalton Trumbo, of course, wrote the novel, and then I believe 30 years later, thereabouts, finally got around to making the film adaptation of it. And, of course, Trumbo was a terrific writer who had been blacklisted from Hollywood for his political views, and clearly lived on the margins, but was an undeniable talent. And I think this film, his only film, is truly it's a masterpiece. I've never seen a movie haunt me the way this film did, and I think that there's just some moments with some of the flashback sequences and the sort of hallucinatory sequences. The way the film is set up, he of course is on a gurney being tended to by military clinicians and brass, and that whole sequence is in black and white, and everything that takes place in his mind is in color. And so you get flashbacks where you see him just before he left for the war. You also get flashbacks of when he was a child, talking to his father. You get some weird hallucinatory dreams of him talking to Jesus, played again by Donald Sutherland rather. And it's just such a bizarre film, but is just unbelievably just crazy sad. Don't watch this if you're at all feeling stricken with the melancholia. I think this would just put you over the edge. But I personally have always found bleak, depressing films to be strangely uplifting in some bizarre way. I don't know, I suppose I just lean into my depression. But in any case, this has of course a great high definition presentation by Imprint. It's a 1080p Blu-ray. There's a audio commentary that was recorded in 2021 by cinema author and critic Matthew Asprey here. There's a documentary on Dalton Trumbo, which of course, incidentally, I believe none other than Walter White, whose name is escaping me for some reason. He did a film adaptation. He played Trumbo in a movie Bryan Cranston recently, and I believe he was nominated for an Academy Award. So Trumbo is an interesting person who warrants further exploration. I mean, I think he lived a remarkable life. Then we have a relatively new interview with actor Timothy Bottoms. At least I think it was recorded in like 2008 or 2009. And then there's a behind-the-scenes footage with commentary by Timothy Bottoms and the DP Jules Brenner. And then there's strangely, I believe there's a radio adaptation starring James Cagney of this story, which I have not heard. It was from 1940. And then, of course, there's a theatrical trailer. But I just want to point out that Imprint just does a terrific job with their presentation and their supplements. I really think that this film is clearly doted upon by Imprint. And there, of course, is Donald Sutherland playing Jesus. Timothy Bottoms there on the left. It's just a fabulous film. I can't recommend it enough. And Imprint has absolutely given it the TLC that it deserves. I believe the film is available on YouTube for free, but the print is a little, it's pretty substandard. The audio quality and picture quality look fantastic. So on that note, please do take care out there, everyone. If you've not seen this movie, I highly recommend it. If you have, maybe revisit it. And I certainly recommend this Imprint release. They've done a fantastic job. Take care. Until the next time, stay safe, be kind, and keep watching the cinema.